What is happening, everybody? Welcome to Toyota Tuesday, where sometimes we work on Toyotas. And today, let me tell you what's going on. You may know already, if you follow me on social media, that this car, the red Supra, I've been talking about it for a long time, but maybe I'll sell it, maybe I'll do something. I've been talking about it for a long time, multiple years. Well, the time has come. It is now on Bring a Trailer. It is live. You can go bid on it right now if you wanted to. But today, let me walk you through what have planned for the black Supra. Now, this car, it's a long project of mine. If you want to know more in detail about this project, I have a couple of videos. I'm going to link them right here, so you go ahead and check that out. But man, I bought this car in 2005, and I've gone way. I mean, it's really dirty right now, but I've gone way above and beyond what I even really intended to do with the car in terms of detail. I've gone through every possible situation, and I've changed way too much on this car. I think I overwhelmed myself, and then after a while I probably spent too much money as well, and it's become a bit of a I don't know, it's stalling because I feel like I've already spent too much money on this car, and the level of craftsmanship that I started this build with is so high that now I feel like anything else that I do that is, halfway, it's sort of like it's gonna be a disappointment. For instance, let me show you this engine right here. This is the engine that I got out of my Cressida, the Incredible Hulk. You can go and check that out on my YouTube as well. It's a great engine, looks really nice and the whole thing, but to me it seems insufficient, and so I think that is why I'm stalling on this car. I mean, this has been my lifelong project. I've had it for 17 years now, and it's been sitting for maybe half of that or more, simply because I'm just like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I want to do this. I've changed the engine setup about 5 times. I've just over complicated this project to no end. And so now this is why I started Toyota Tuesdays, just to kind of like force myself to move forward somehow, some way, and just not have this car sitting anymore. And so I think what I want to do with this car is I'm gonna get it going. I mean, I have most of the parts anyway. It's just that I got into, I designed a 5.5 inch clutch for this car because I wanted it to rev like a ninja bike, right? And so things like that just take a lot of effort, a lot of time. Look at the ABS unit on this. I must have spent at least 50 hours detailing, polishing that unit right there. I've replaced every possible bolt on this car with new bolts. The entire engine compartment and many of the hardware around are ARP bolts. I've took the task of dismantling every single one of those bolts, measuring it, and finding the compatible version of the ARP hardware and purchasing that. I have a massive spreadsheet with all this information. So it's been just way overdone. And so at this point, what I want to do is I want to get the car moving, and then I'll probably do other things with it in the future, but who knows what that's going to be. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that engine that you see over there, and I'm going to mount it on this car. But as you can see, it's got a sump hump. The sump is on the front because that came out of my Cressida. And so I had this custom oil pan made. I just got it. Actually, I went to my buddy Wes in Ohio, right? If you haven't been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, check it out. I just stopped in because I was in the area. But man, it's a really cool place. I've been there a couple times. Definitely check it out if you're in the area. But I had Wes make me this oil pan. As you can see, the sump, it's in the middle with the 2 baffles on the side. It has doors internally so that the oil doesn't, slap, just wiggle around in there. And it has increased the capacity, right? And so I'm gonna change that oil pan in there. Somehow I'm gonna get that motor cleaned up. And then if you come over here, I have this R174, which is in great shape. It's just a little bit dirty. So I'm gonna have this dry ice cleaned and, you know, match that up to that engine. Put the oil pan in here, and you know, I'll get it all cleaned up. I'll probably have to replace these hoses just so that they match. But you know, again, I'm not gonna go crazy right now. I'm trying to get this car running, or at the very least, just let's make some kind of progress, and then I'm gonna work on another build for it. Just keep upgrading it. Once it's running, once it's going, then I can keep working and you know, adding to it. So let's take it out and do some stuff. By the way, don't mind the mess. This garage, I haven't had any time to organize anything. It's just, it's fine. We're good. We're good. And just like that, she's out. Wow. That is dirty. Okay, so as I was saying, I'm gonna take this out. And let me show you around this engine. And by the way, this is gonna be probably a multi-week little project, because there's just a lot of little things to do with this. First, it has to get cleaned up. There's some things that I have to take out. Obviously, we're gonna be replacing this, but let me walk you around and see, just to show you some of the things that have been done to the engine. So first of all, there was a fuel line that goes here that was blocked. In the back, I think I've talked about this before, but as you can see, the engine is a little bit tilted down, right? And so what seems to happen in a lot of the 7Ms, this is your crank vent, so it can breathe from one to the other, but this doesn't really allow for drainage of the oil from the top of the head. So what happens is you get a lot of oil going up to the head, and it seems to you know, bubble up and stay up here. The drain coming down is very small. There's just one, I believe this is the one right here, and it's not that big. So what was done here, my buddy from Punch Out Performance, Wes, we drilled a hole back here and put just a line that goes straight into the oil pan right here. And so what that does is drain all of that excess oil from the top into the oil pan, so that we never starve the oil pump. And obviously with the baffles here on the side, allows you for more oil capacity and you know, help oil flow. This here is a oil heater. Okay, it's a 120 volt oil heater, and it was put in there because at times during cold weather, the oil would get so cold that the oil pressure was so high that it will burst the oil filters. But you know, on the new oil pan, I've removed that heater. I don't need it anymore. My cars are typically indoors, so remove that. Here you can see that we've adapted an AN adapter here. For this, I'll probably replace these two hoses with black because my car is themed black. And the number 12 cast, not only is it the best number in the world, but number 12 is also known to be a really good cast for this head. And so we went with a number 12 cast. I think there's about 16 casts, but I hear and I have very good experience with the 12 cast. Capped the CPS sensor here. We put an oil plate here to run lines to a cooler that sits up front in front of the radiator. We have the custom oil dipstick here. Sensors for the oil pressure, electronic, some oil feeds for the turbo, blocked this drain right there, and obviously blocked the EGR pipe that goes there. We have some lines adapted here for the turbo, and then we have more sensors here, and this is a drain for the turbo, and this is just to, you know, drain the oil pan. So internally, as you know, it's a fully forged engine, ARP hardware inside and out. And I mean, this engine was running around 800-900 horsepower at the wheels was the top that it saw. Then we put a smaller turbo just to make it, you know, more fun to drive on the street. All right, guys, so that's it for now. Thanks again for watching Toyota Tuesday. Again, you know, this is a very emotional build for me because I taught myself how to do a lot of the things that I know how to do today in preparation to do it on this car. And you know, I've been learning along the way. I'm sure that a lot of you can appreciate that. I've taught myself, you know, electronics, building engines, paint, upholstery, you know, how to work on the suspension, all these different things in preparation to doing things for this car. And so it's been a very personal build for me. And so again, we're gonna do a few things on it. I hope you stay tuned and, you know, walk along with me. Please, you know, comment below, tell me of your experiences, or, you know, if you see things maybe, you know, from your experience, you can tell me how I should do some of the things and what to do. But you know, again, like, you know, if you think about the things that I've done to this car, if you go to a shop today and you tell them, you know, strip this car to bare metal, take out every bolt, every window, every plastic, every trim, every suspension piece, everything, and paint it, you know, with a PPG jet black, go and guess how much they're going to charge you to do that. And so starting with that and then redoing everything, new gaskets, new glass, new bolts, new everything, it gets pretty crazy. And so I've hit a threshold that I think, you know, I have to step down from and just get this car going and just get motivated again and keep working. So again, thanks for watching.